everybody. Today on Cool America, I'm especially excited because we've got a guest who feels like a hometown connection. She's a fellow Pittsburgher, a Penn State alum, like my own dad and brother, and now she's taking both Broadway and the digital world by storm. Jess Val Ortiz has been called a digital it girl and Broadway aficionado, and it's easy to see why. With a BFA in musical theater, she's graced the stage in Sister Act, The Drowsy Chaperone, and Kinky Boots at Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera, and stole the spotlight playing every female role on the national tour of Spamilton, an American parody. But Jess isn't just building her career on stage. She's built a digital empire too, amassing over 10 million followers across TikTok and Instagram with sketches that are hilarious, cathartic, and grounded in a performer's sharp sense of timing. She's paving the path for digital talent to cross over into traditional theater while making fashion, comedy, and culture feel fresh and relatable. I am so excited to welcome Jess. How are you?
That was so nice. You didn't have
Oh,
to say all of that. But thanks. I really like
sure.
hearing all that back. Wow. I'm touched.
Well, good. You deserve it. You worked hard. You
Oh,
earned it.
thank you. Thank you. It's been a long journey and it just keeps on going, hopefully. Well,
Yes, yes, it's
yeah.
definitely going to. So I have to start with this because we're both Pittsburghers and my dad and brother went to Penn State too. So right away, we have this like connection.
Mhm. Yeah.
What was it like for you growing up in PA and then making the leap into Penn State's musical theater program?
Yeah, I honestly really loved growing up in Pittsburgh. There was a really great theater scene there. I did so much theater. I did like around five musicals a year. Like every couple months I was like doing a new show. Like I was very like it was my whole life. I absolutely loved, the theater scene in Pittsburgh. It was really great. And then towards like the end of my time in high school, I was auditioning for musical theater programs, and I knew I wanted to audition at like the top 10 universities for musical theater. And I was working with a college advisor, and she gave me this list, and Penn State was on the list, and she was like, yeah, they only accept 12 kids per class in their major, so you should definitely go in and audition. And I was like, well, that's not gonna work out for me because like 1,000 kids audition per year, and it just like increases more and more every year. So I'm like, yeah, that I'll try, but like most likely that's not going to happen. So I actually was waitlisted at the school. So they had maybe 10 kids on the wait list, and I ended up getting off the wait list and I was accepted into the program. So there were 12 kids in our class, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And like, my mom also went to Penn State, and so it also runs in the family. So I was like, oh, this I feel like was very meant to be. And I had the best time in college. I was in so many great shows. I was in Legally Blonde, which was definitely the highlight of my college career. And I just loved, having the balance at Penn State of like really honing into my theatrical endeavors and my training, but also I had a balance of like going to the football games and being a part of like different kinds of things around campus, and making different kinds of friends, not just theater friends. And so that was really important to me, is having that, diversity and the different kinds of, things I could do during my time at school. So I think that that made me a little bit more of a well-rounded person, and especially when it comes to content creating. Like I don't necessarily make, a lot of my content around theater per se, but I do, I focus a lot on like comedy, but also lots of different things in life as well. So I feel like my experience at school at Penn State really helped me with that.
I love that. And honestly, Penn State really does have a way of like pulling you in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I think that's really wonderful. And I love that you touched on how Pittsburgh does have this great musical and like theater scene because most people would never think that. So I'm glad that you touched on that. I think that that's pretty great.
Yeah,
Um,
it was really, really a great, childhood that I had, and
yeah.
the shows and the community that I, was growing up in. It was really, really special, and I really wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It was great. So.
That's great to hear. So during your training at Penn State, was there a specific moment or like maybe like a particular moment that kind of reinforced like this is it, this is where I'm meant to be?
It was back to doing Legally Blonde. Like that was the first show and first experience. Because I ended up playing Paulette, which is the Jennifer Coolidge role, the hairdresser. Like that was the first time I did like a funny role ever in a musical, and I was like, oh, this is different. Like this is really fun. I feel like I could truly embrace myself. And if I had not played that part in college, like I don't know if I ever would have been like confident enough to like show that side of myself, like the goofy, crazy, psycho side of myself that I feel like most people can relate to today. So I'm very thankful for Legally Blonde. It is one of my, top three favorite musicals ever. And so yeah, doing that show was that changed things for me in many ways of my life.
Wonderful. And now here you are being called a digital it girl and Broadway aficionado. So that's such a fun title.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who gave me that title, but that I don't know if I've earned the Broadway aficionado role yet, but maybe one day when we get there, when we book it. So
Well, I feel like it is quite true. But how does it feel balancing those two worlds, like theater and this massive digital community that you've built? Because they're so different.
yeah, it is very different. It's both are very like rewarding, and both of them are extremely, time consuming, and I have to work very, very, very hard, long hours every day, towards I still, obviously I do my content, but I also still train. Like I have a voice teacher that I go to every other week, and I make sure that every time I have an audition, I meet up with him, and we keep the voice good and healthy. And so that's really important to me, and making sure I get enough sleep every night, drink enough water, and um, like not spend too much time on the screens. I try to like live as healthy of a lifestyle as I possibly can, because everything that I do like is very, very, very time consuming. Like the content on top of the auditioning, it's hard, but like I do it full time. Like it's really great that I don't have to like go to another job like I did during COVID. Like I was making content and also going to a restaurant to work, pretty much full time and serve, and that's like physically exhausting. And you know I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore, and I can fully put 100% of my time and effort into my career and my dreams. So not a lot of people can say that, so I'm very, very grateful for it, and I don't ever want to take it for granted.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I get where you're coming from because it is exhausting. I can get that. But I mean, lucky for you and lucky for us that you get to focus on your craft because I mean, it's wonderful and it it changes people. So you have that effect on people and so it's a really good thing, but it's also such a very rare balance. Um, but that also makes me wonder, like, do you kind of find yourself pulling from that solid theater foundation in like your training, even when you're creating a 30-second TikTok?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, take everything that I've learned in my classes, and I try to, incorporate it into everything that I do. And I didn't do a ton of like funny stuff in college. I've done like a lot of very like serious roles. Like I don't know if you've heard of the new Kiss the Spider Woman movie that's coming out with Jennifer Lopez, but I actually did that role in college, the role that she's playing.
No
And
way.
that was crazy. I've never talked about it a lot because like no one knows what the musical is, but now people are starting to know it because it's coming out as a movie. And so now I feel like I can talk about it because that was like a crazy dropped in dramatic role that I played in school, and it was also a very dance heavy role, and that was something that I also did focus on a lot in school was dance, and that was really important to me. But I don't know, I kind of fell out of love with it because it was just like, I don't know, it just became too much, and I just wasn't connecting with it really anymore. But Sorry, what was the question? I feel like I
No, you are totally fine. It was just whether or not, and I feel like you answered it, about pulling in your foundation and the training and stuff when you're creating TikToks and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I try to really just
Yeah.
even like sometimes I will do a little ridiculous dancey TikTok that's like super super quick. I did like a when the Hamilton trend was going around and I was dressed up as a Hamilton. I did a dance, a pretty crazy dance, and so I was like, you know what? Like, let's focus for like 10 seconds. Let's do this dance because it might be one of the greatest videos that you ever produce. And so I did it. I took like 2 takes of it, and it has like almost 1 million likes on TikTok, which is crazy. And so I was like, okay, thank goodness for that dance training that I got.
Yeah.
And I'm still like using it and for different things. I mean, not much with theater right now, but online. So that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. That's wonderful. Um, well, speaking of theater, you've done some incredible shows, and now I know another show that you did that I'm so excited about. And I kind of wish you would have just been in the movie now. Like you would have nailed it because you've already done it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
secondhand. You could have done it in your sleep.
Uh, it,
Well, okay, so I'm assuming, but most of us actors, actresses, models, whatever, we are very much perfectionists. And so I feel like since you have already held that role, you're like, wait a minute, this has to be perfect.
yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
and I feel like maybe it's just that's kind of what's might be doing it.
yeah, and there's like like besides the singing, like she's undeniably gorgeous. Like you look at her and she's like, wow, I want to look like that when I'm her age.
Oh, so out of all of your incredible shows like Sister Act, The Drowsy Chaperone, Kinky Boots, even Legally Blonde, now that you brought it up, which role has felt the most like Jess? And then which one pushed you the furthest, kind of in your realm?
I mean, I kind of hate that we've already talked about it, but definitely like Legally Blonde and also Spamilton. I went on tour with Spamilton, the Hamilton parody, and
Love
that was really really cool. I did the production in Pittsburgh, and then I went on tour with it for a couple of months back in 2022, I believe, like right as COVID was starting to just wrap up a little bit. Um, and that was really cool. It's a parody. It's hilarious, and so I felt very much like in my wheelhouse. And that was like one of my first like big girl professional jobs outside of school, which I felt like really, really happy to be doing. So that was cool, and just like getting to sing, the Hamilton music. But the thing is, it was all the Hamilton music that we sung, but we changed the lyrics, to incorporate that funny comedic, to basically I don't want to say make fun of to parody Hamilton.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really very challenging. The whole show, I was just like singing different styles, like I was belting my face off, and I was singing very like operatic in some ways, and like different styles of music, like singing jazz, like singing like Liza Minnelli. I had to do a Bernadette Peters impression, Barbara Streisand impression. So that was probably just one of the most challenging
Yeah.
roles that I've ever done. It was crazy.
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned coming back to Pittsburgh to perform at like Civic Light Opera. What was
hmm
that like? Because Pittsburgh audiences are definitely their own kind of special.
Yeah, yeah. I I I've always been like so Pittsburgh CLO is like one of the biggest regional theater companies in the country, and it was always a dream of mine growing up to like perform on that stage at the Benedum Theater in Pittsburgh. And have you seen shows there, I'm guessing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure
it's great.
have.
It's huge. It's magical. It's like it's beautiful on the inside. I was every time I would go see like a tour or a show there, I'd be like, "Oh my God, this would be crazy if I got to perform here." And so I did, and it was really just so exciting. That was when did I do that? I did that in 2022, right after I left the Spamilton tour. I performed there, and I did the 3 shows. I did Drowsy Chaperone, and Kinky Boots, and Sister Act. And I was actually in the ensemble for all three of those shows, but there was like an emergency sickness in Drowsy Chaperone, so I actually had to step in and play the role of Trix for half of the performances, which was really crazy and really challenging. But it was really, really fun. And so, yeah, getting to like stand on the stage and sing like a full solo. And it was just like me for that moment. I was like, wow, this is super amazing. And like, it was very, very, very fulfilling. So I'm really glad I got to do that. That was a huge bucket list moment for me as a Pittsburgh theater girl.
Yeah. It definitely sounds like organized chaos, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah, but that's theater. Like, you
It
kind of
sure
just have to
is.
be prepared for anything.
I love it. And I'm guessing that touring kind of brought on some unforgettable moments for you. Was there one of those like only on tour stories that you'll never forget?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can think of a few, but I don't want to like make anyone upset. But we went to California for a week, which was really cool because whenever I was there, I got to invite some of my like influencer TikTok friends, and they got to see me perform live for the first time, and like that was really cool to show like my friends that like I'm, not just making these like silly videos online. Like this is another huge like side of me, and so that was really special to have like so many people come out and see me for that. But yeah, that's like the goal. I want, ever since 2022, I've gained more of a following, and I feel like people don't see that side of myself yet because I haven't done theater in a bit. I did a show back in LA earlier this year for about a month. Um, and yeah, I've been back and I've just been auditioning for things ever since. So I I'm just excited to maybe book another tour at some point because there's a lot of really great perks to it. But Broadway's the goal. Broadway's the goal.
Absolutely. And if you ever get back to into Pittsburgh to perform, you'll have to let me know because I
Absolutely.
will have to go up there. My parents still live there, so it's
Oh,
perfect.
great.
There.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I would love that. Anytime I figure that out, I will let you know.
So all of those experiences that you've had, I'm sure they have shaped more than just the shows. So what is one lesson that theater's kind of taught you that kind of still sneaks into your digital work or maybe even your personal life?
Yeah. Um, I think like too much of it um can be maybe bad sometimes. Like if you consume, like the thing about theater kids is that we like kind of consume our lives into theater, and like sometimes that becomes like our whole personality or what we care about the most. Or like if I'm going in for an audition and I really, 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 really want the role so bad, and then I don't get it, then it'll kind of destroy me for a little bit. But it's like like finding a balance is so important. Like I was never really a hobby girl until very recently. Like I like to bike now, and like if I ever am having a bad day, I like, and the weather permits, then I will like to go out on a little bike ride. And so that's really important for me to like clear my head, have an activity for me. That's very separate from, what I'm working towards with theater and content too. I mean, oh my God, like I'm on my technology all day, every day, and I need a balance from that. Everyone does. So I would say that that's the most important thing, to have hobbies.
Yes.
Hobbies are important. They're
And
healthy.
I love that you touched on that because so many people don't really, um, I guess maybe not that they don't understand, but they just don't get that there really does need to be a balance. That's so important that you touched on that, especially for like our younger viewers and everything. Like they need to know that there has to be a balance. You can't lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
And so um, that's awesome that you put that out there for everybody too, because hearing it from you means a lot different. It means a lot more than hearing it from me.
Oh, that's,
um,
but I'm glad I was able to say it. So.
Love it. So over 10 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. That's insane and way incredible. What do you think it is about your content that makes people connect so strongly?
You know, I've just I words, thoughts, compile. I just really try to be myself as much as I possibly can. You know, I am truly like what you see here and what you see online is, you know, is what how I am in real life. I mean, like I don't act super psycho like 24/7. There's definitely a balance, and I can be pretty chill. But like I'm definitely like a goofy girl, and I think that's one of the most unique parts about me is like my personality and like my sense of humor. And so I, knowing that I can, make people laugh and make people smile if they're having a really bad day. I think that that is what connects me to others. And like I really just try to spread joy and positivity and, an escape for people whenever they are, you know, going through something devastating, or if they are just bored and they just want to like lay on their couch and unwind. That's really important to me. And I just love acting. I love performing. Like that is, will always live inside of me. And so I'm glad I get to do it as a career every single day.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I mean, just how you touched upon that, like you are very genuine, very and still so down to earth. And it's very refreshing. Because that, it's really easy for people to be disingenuous, and I feel like for
Yeah.
you to put it all out there, I think that's wonderful. And it makes sense. But in your sketches, like you said, they don't just make people laugh, they feel like a release, like almost cathartic, like. And so, I mean, I think that's probably partly why they land so deeply with everybody. So yeah, it's
Thank you.
absolutely wonderful. And keep being yourself because it works.
Thank
It's a
you.
wonderful self.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
you've got this mix like comedy, fashion, beauty, cultural commentary. How do you juggle all of that and still, like we said, keep it authentic to you?
Yeah, I mean, those are all just genuine things that I have always loved. And I was talking to someone yesterday about this, but back whenever I was in college, I started this Instagram page of me doing like my friends' nails and their makeup. It was basically like a makeup beauty page that I tried to make, take off. I tried to make it take off whenever I was like 20 years old. And I would ask my friends who were in the musical theater program with me if they could like come over to my apartment, and I would do their hair and, or not their hair, I would do their makeup and their nails. And I would take pictures, put it on that Instagram account, and I would just beg people to like follow me and to share all my posts so that I would go viral. I mean, I had like 100 followers on the account. It was nothing, but it was just something I loved to do. It was something so fun, and it was like an escape. So all the things that were kind of like an escape for me, the things that I found the most joy in, I tried to, put it into my content.
Yeah.
So it rarely, sometimes it feels like work. I mean, work is work, but a lot of the times it's just pure fun, and it's what I love to do, and it's what, I've always wanted to do is, make a career out of my art and my skills and my passions. And so I'm glad to be doing it today. But RIP Glam Gal Jess Val. That's what the account was.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well,
Mhm.
and then you sprinkle in those sharp zillennial observations. Like, do you think being in that in between generation gives you a unique comedic lens?
Yeah, for sure. Because I relate to both generations. Like many parts of me are very millennial. Like I feel like my sense of humor is very millennial, but I also feel like my sense of humor is also very Gen Z. And I, I don't know. The things that I see online, I understand them both. And I mean, I was born in '97, so that's right at the top of Gen Z and right at the bottom of millennials. So I'm like literally right there. So yeah, I get both, I guess. I'm a million different like memes are going through my head right now, and I can't even like focus on one. So the short answer is yes, I get both.
That's so funny. I mean, but I feel that totally. Like, um, I'm kind of stuck in between that dial up and TikTok,
Hmm.
like that kind of thing. And my kids still are dumbfounded by the fact that when I tell them that I'm older than the internet, like,
Yeah, no, the kids will get freaked out if they find out a person is born before year 2000. And I'm
I
like,
know,
oh, that's
by the 80s.
like where we are in time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Oh my goodness.
that's life.
Well, you've also experimented with so many formats. So you have impressions and parodies and rants. Like, which of these feels like your favorite playground?
Um, I don't know. I doing like the fast speed, two times speed skits, those are probably my favorite forms of content to do because I just really feel the most joy out of like being silly, and like doing like the mom skits were so much fun and I want to do more. So I'll always probably have those in my back pocket. But I also love like just over the past year I've been doing more like rant type of videos, and those are more like those are not really pre-planned. It's usually if I get like a it's usually like first thing in the morning or last thing I do before I go to bed. Like I'll just have these like late night thoughts or early morning thoughts, shower thoughts, and I will just whip out my phone and film it. Like it's not, never anything like super flashy. It's literally just like me like with my, acne cream on my face, like ready to just like go to bed. And I'm just like, I look putrid, but it's fine.
No
And
way.
I just have to get my thought out there or I have to like film it because and a lot of people like those too. And so I was just like, oh, okay, well, this is cool. Like I can wear different kinds of hats. And I guess, I think sometimes people get like thrown off by that. Like most creators have like a niche, like one specific niche, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not a niche. I'm a person and people have like different kinds of interests and hobbies and things to say. So I try not to box myself.
Yeah, I love that. And I get that because I'm kind of the same way where it's like, I really still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So it's like, I want to do all the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can. You
Yeah.
totally
And so why not?
can.
Okay. So I have to know, has there ever been a video you almost didn't post, but it ended up blowing up when you did?
I don't probably not. Everything I post, I post a lot, and the stuff that I was posting in the very beginning was all like, ooh, I look back at it now, I'm like, this is so cringy. I don't know. I'm just thinking about early TikTok days when it was really blowing up, like early 2020, end of 2019. Um, Everyone from college was like hopping on it my senior year in 2019, and I was like, I don't know. I at that time I was like, I don't really want to be a part of like trends. Like everyone's freaking out over TikTok, and my friends were like, wait, no, Jess, like you should get on it. Like you should make content. And I was like, I don't know. Like I plus everyone's like a dancer on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not gonna like be like one of those like girls that people like objectify and they're all dancing all sexy and whatnot. I was like, that's just not me. And so they were like, no, 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 like people can also do like skits, like you can film whatever you want. And I was like, nah. And I didn't download TikTok until after COVID like began, and there was literally nothing else to do. And I was like, you know what? Fine. Like I'm trapped in my childhood bedroom, so I guess here we are. And then I downloaded TikTok, and I was like, wait, oh wait, this is fun. I get it now. And then I kind of just ran with it. And after 6 months of posting my first video, I hit a million views, a million followers on the app. And that was really crazy. I was like, whoa, okay. I think it's time to lock in because I think there's something here. And then it wasn't until 2022 is when I did it full time. So it took me like a year and a half to really like make it a career for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know.
crazy.
What a wild journey. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I love hearing about it though. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Something else that stands out is your voice as a Latina performer. So do you feel a responsibility to bring representation into your work, or does it kind of just naturally shine through?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of my background and, being a Puerto Rican woman. I think something I maybe struggle with a little bit is, I grew up not speaking Spanish and I really wanted to learn. It was really, really hard for me to learn. Um, my dad never spoke it around the house, but he speaks it fluently. He just like never taught the kids. And I get that because like my mom's Polish. She doesn't speak any Spanish. So I feel like, if only one parent is speaking it, it's harder to teach the family. Um, but I just feel like if I were to be able to speak the language, I would be able to embrace, that side of myself a little bit more. But I don't know. I grew up in like a really, 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 really Caucasian, like white area. There was maybe like one person of color in my whole entire high school at the time, like, and I didn't feel like I got to embrace that side of myself. But like now that I live in New York and I'm around, diversity and so many different kinds of people, and I absolutely love it. I want to embrace that. I want to learn, more about my culture here. Because it's never too late. So, yeah.
And absolutely. I'm totally with you on that. I love all things culture and all things heritage. Like it fascinates me, and I just want to know all of the things from all
Yeah.
of the different places.
Yeah.
And especially when you have that, you have that root, and it's important to get to, I guess, embrace it and experience it too. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So now talking Broadway and theater, um, and also the digital born performers and things like that. Do you feel like the industry is finally starting to change its view about creators and maybe take them more seriously? Because I know there's a lot more um, like content creators that are crossing into Broadway and theater.
Yeah. I think um we're starting to be, we're starting to dip our toes in a little bit with that, like casting what's her name? Oh my God. My mind just shut off like for
And does that
for a
all the
second.
time.
Sorry. Can you
It's
give me a second?
totally fine.
1 second.
No, it happens to me all the time.
Okay. Um I this is like a really hard thing to talk about because I think I've gone into so many auditions
Right.
where like my having my TikTok platform on my resume has not made any difference when it
Mm,
comes to, you know,
yeah.
people casting me or not. No one ever asks about it, which I'm really, really shocked about
Yeah.
because I do have like 10.8 million TikTok followers at the top of my resume, and no one ever says anything about it. And I think that that's like, I understand probably like where they're coming from because they just want it to be about the work and not like about the clout or whatever. Like, maybe that would be like kind of a shallow thing um, for them to discuss when we're just trying to focus on me singing or me doing a scene. So I guess I understand where that's coming from, but I do have it on my resume for a reason, and we can talk about anything on my resume. And so I even I have the fact that I judged Miss America last year in 2024. No one's ever said anything about that either, and I'm actually like really confused. Like, that was one of my biggest accomplishments in my career is being able to judge the talent portion of Miss America. And yeah, no one ever has ever said anything about that. And so I'm just like, okay, well, I'm trying to bring like something different to the table, in my work, in my audition, but also like I have these things on my resume for a reason that I think would help me like stand out, but it has not, it hasn't necessarily helped with, booking jobs, which is, it's a little, it can feel a little bad sometimes because I'm like, okay, like I'm training really hard. Like I am very aware of my talents and back, I feel like I've grown a lot since, I was a kid, and since I was even like 21, 22. Like I've been very much, a lot more determined about like my health and my training, and I'm very self-aware in the room. Like I know when I bomb something and I know when I nail something. And I don't know, but I'm not gonna let that get me down because I'm very proud of the work that I put in, and I know where I'm at right now, and I think it's just going to be a matter of time and just getting like the right opportunity and being in the right room in front of the right person and the right role. So I'm just gonna keep on doing it. Keep on doing the thing.
Keep on doing it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk New York life. So now you're in New York, and you got Rico and Penelope with you. What's your
Boring.
idea of the perfect NYC day off?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so every single day I have to start off by waking up, feeding the animals, and then there's a dog park right across from where I live. I take my dog to the dog park every single day, regardless of what, the weather is. And I just let him run for like 30 minutes. I grab a coffee and then I start everything. Um, even like on a day off, like that's what I'll do. But yeah, being in the city is great. I'll meet up with a group of friends. I love walking through Central Park. I'll usually bring my dog Rico, and we'll I always love trying new places. I don't like really going to the same restaurant twice, so I'll always try a new place. I love steakhouses. I love Mexican food and Italian food and sushi, and they have the best of it here.
Yes, they do.
And I also love seeing theater. So like maybe like wrapping up the day by going to see a Broadway show or something new that I haven't seen before. And yeah, just going on a nice little stroll, maybe a nice little bike ride down the West Side Highway. That's also something I love to do. So
Oh,
yeah, there's your itinerary.
see, that sounds amazing and
Mhm.
like the perfect day off.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how do you feel that living in New York has changed? I mean, even maybe inspired your creativity compared to your Pittsburgh days?
Yeah, I just feel like I have such a excuse me, I have such a creative and great group of friends here. Like most of my friends are pretty much all my friends here are in the entertainment business in some form. Like they either went to school with me at Penn State and they're actors, or they're other content creators, or they're behind the scenes. And so just have constant inspiration and motivation around me at all times. Everyone's such a hustler here, and you really can't live here unless you have that kind of, you know, unless you have that kind of,
Yeah,
what's the word?
I know what you're saying. You have to have a certain type of toughness.
Traits. Yes, 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 absolutely. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking today, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it's great. I like to, I wake up and there's always something for me to do, something for me to work on, people to work with, which is amazing. And yeah, it's the most artistic, most beautiful, most humbling city ever, and I'm really great to live here.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it takes, like you said, it takes a different, it's just different. I mean,
Hmm.
but it's a good different too.
Yeah, yeah, it gives you a backbone for sure.
Yeah. So switching back to Rico and Penelope, who is the bigger diva?
Definitely Penelope. Like I've had her for 5 years. Well, no, 6 years. She's 6 years old. She's taking a nap over there. And like I just got Rico last year.
Yeah.
So this has been her little kingdom. And
Mhm.
it's no secret that cats and dogs don't really get along. And so he just wants to play with her, and he has a little too much energy for her. She's kind of, starting to wind down. She's a middle-aged girl now, and he's just getting started. So she can be a bit of a diva with him for sure.
Oh yeah, I get it. Cats are their own species for sure. They're definitely like, don't touch me
Yeah,
until I tell
absolutely.
you to. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know, yeah, we have two, and one of them just finally we got her spayed. She's our Maine Coon, and I mean she's absolutely beautiful, but it's like she knows it, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. And she got spayed and she had this little shirt on to keep her from licking her stitches. And man, she didn't want it on at first. And then I was trying to take it off of her and she like tore up my hand. And I
Oh
said,
no.
well,
Oh no.
I'm like, girl, make up your mind. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought you didn't like it. And now I'm trying to take it off for you. And you don't want me to do that. Like, I'm confused.
Yeah. Cats unfortunately kind of just do what they want. And if you don't,
They
if you
really
don't do what they want, they're gonna fuck you up.
so true. Okay, so let's switch it up. We're gonna do a quick rapid fire. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so bad at these, but
That's
okay.
okay. I feel like these ones, I feel like you can get this, even if it
Okay.
takes a little bit of time and you don't have to answer in just one word. I won't put that stipulation on you because that's hard.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Broadway dream role.
Mm. Well, it used to be Christine and Phantom of the Opera, but I can't sing opera. So now it's Elphaba and Wicked.
Ooh, love that. Good.
Yeah.
Do so well with that too. Okay, go to karaoke song.
See, I told you I'm horrible at this.
That's okay.
I hate doing karaoke, so I pass.
That's okay. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, your coffee order
Ice chai latte.
and late night NYC snack.
A smoothie, a smoothie. I always get bodega smoothies. They're so good.
With these. Favorite restaurant.
Like a chain. If we're talking
Okay.
chain, Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, that's my daughter's
Mm,
favorite too. That's hilarious.
it's so good. I love Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, but see, that's a very strong lineup, and I feel like you did okay.
Oh, okay,
We're
great.
gonna slow it down just a little. It's kind of similar, but we're back on the same type of questions. So,
Okay.
if your life had a Netflix series, what would the title be?
Mm, um, um,
It's a hard one. Take your time.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay. Well, first, all right, let's rewind and do this. Would it be a comedy, a musical, or like a chaotic reality show?
oh my God, it would be probably a movie musical.
I love
Because
that.
it's just, it would just be slightly insufferable, yet a whimsical time.
Okay, so now we can use that to make the name.
Yeah, okay. Oh my God. A name. Oh my God. Because I want to be clever with this. And I need time to be clever.
I know. Okay, so you can get back to me on it, but you're gonna have to let us know what it
Okay.
would be. You got to think about
Okay, I shall.
it. Perfect. And would I guess we would have to say that Penelope and Rico would totally get their own little spotlights. Kind
Oh, for sure.
for sure.
They would probably draw the curtains and it would be they would do an opening number, Rico and Penelope.
That would be
They would
perfect.
they would be tap dancing
I
together.
love that so much.
Little tap duo.
Well, with 10 million followers, you have to have some stories. What is the funniest fan interaction that you've had so far?
Fan interaction. I mean,
I mean, it doesn't even have to be in person, but
yeah, like everyone's been really cool. Like everyone's been very, very sweet, super nice, super down to earth. A lot of kids, but I had this really strange interaction whenever I was in Tampa, Florida years ago. This was in like 2022, and I was staying at a resort, and these two like grown men, like that, not my demographic at all. Like my demographic is like 12-year-old girls for the most part. And these like two dudes who are probably like in their late 20s, early 30s, they come up to me and they're like, "Are you Jess from the internet?" And I was like, "Yes." And then they just stared at me. And then they gave their phone to their other friend and they just stood next to me and they just were like, Take a picture of us." And then I just stood there like, and then they walked away without saying anything. And I was like, that was so unbelievably strange. Like, that was the only thing they said to me. They were like, "Are you Jess? Picture," and then bye.
It's
That was that,
insane.
I will never forget that. That was crazy.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
And now they will probably watch this and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's talking about me."
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. Thing one and thing two. If you guys are
Oh,
watching, hi from
that's so,
Tampa.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we wrap up, I really hate to end the conversation. I'm having so much fun with you.
Oh, thanks. You too.
So we always ask our signature Cool America question since we are Cool America. So what is something that you think is cool about America?
Oh my gosh. Freedom of speech. So topical right now.
It really
Getting to
is.
say whatever you want to say and being able to do it. I think that's the coolest thing about America. So,
I love it. And it's so relevant right now too.
yeah, exactly.
Well, so what's cool about you? Maybe something that we don't really know. You shared about your new hobby, biking,
Yeah.
but what is something that's really cool about you that maybe not everybody knows?
Yeah, well, I actually have a little project that I'm working on and can start talking about. So I am doing a jewelry collaboration with as you can see I love my jewels, my jewelry and things, and I'm doing a jewelry collaboration with Daniela Karagoch, who's one of the Dancing with the Stars pros. She's on this season right now with Dylan Efron. And her and I are good friends, and so she is the face of Dainty. That's what the jewelry company is called. So we're doing a Dainty times Jess Val Ortiz collaboration. And next week I'm going to go to LA. We're going to do a photo shoot, and then I'm actually going to go watch her in Dancing with the Stars, which is something I'm really excited to do. So
That sounds
up and
amazing.
coming.
And I'm definitely going to look it up because I'm like obsessed with earrings and necklaces, all of the things.
It's
So
good.
I'll be
It's the best.
definitely checking that out for sure. I'm
Jeez.
going to have to
Yes. If I
because
get a code, I'll let you know the code.
let me know.
Yeah.
Well, that this has really been such a fun conversation, not just because of your incredible talent, but because of that Pittsburgh and Penn State connection. That's been pretty cool. You've shown us how theater training, cultural perspective, and digital creativity can collide into something very original, but also very powerful. So, from Broadway stages to TikTok screens, you are inspiring a whole generation of performers and creators. And if your journey so far is any indication, the best is definitely still to come. So, we really appreciate you joining us on Cool America Lab, and we cannot wait to see what you're going to do next.